Climate justice now. Climate justice now. Climate justice now. Climate justice now.
Hey everyone! Woo! How are we doing? Yeah! Thank you so much everyone for being here. My name is Megan. I am an organizer with Fridays for Future Toronto. And I'm very excited for today. I will be one of your co-MCs, and joining me is Ali.
Hi Megan!
Hey!
How are you doing?
I'm great.
Hi everyone! It's so good to see you out here!
Woo!
My name is Aliena Rougeau, or Ali. I've been organizing for climate justice for a while now. And I've been here in front of Queen's Park asking for climate action for more than 4 years. I'm so excited that you came out today. Big round of applause for yourself. Actually, I'm going to welcome our ASL interpreter to come with us. I'll start with the logistics, the safety details. So, we have ASL interpretation. If you're with someone that uses ASL interpretation, you're welcome to come closer to the stage. The space is for you. We have seating for those of you that'd rather be sitting here. This space is reserved for folks that need it the most. There's chairs all the way here. We also have an accessibility van. So if you want to do the route with us, the march with us, but you'd rather do it in the accessibility van, if you just want to come to the stage and talk with us, and then we'll get you connected with the driver. And then my last safety announcement is we have peace marshals to make sure we're all safe as we march. They're wearing the high visibility vests, the bright yellow vests. You can talk to them if you have any safety concerns. You do not have to talk to the police during the march. There is no reason you need to have an interaction with the police. Our peace marshals are there to be that liaison, and there's the ones who can keep you safe. That sound good? Woo! Okay, and then we have first aid if you need it. It's on the red tent to my right. So feel free to come and use that if you need anything. All right, let's talk about why we're here today. We're here because the climate crisis is real, and because our elected officials continue to ignore it. Shame! We're here because as young people, we know that the rest of our lives are going to be impacted by the climate crisis. And yet every day, people in the towers over there in the banks, people behind me in government, choose to do nothing. They allow the destruction of our future to take place. Shame! We are here because the biggest polluters are now profiting from inflation, while most Canadians can't fill their tank anymore. Shame! We're here because there's an affordability crisis, a climate crisis, a housing crisis, a racial inequality crisis, and we're here to say there are solutions to all of those, and we're demanding today that all those who have power put in place real climate action, equitable climate action, respect Indigenous sovereignty over their territories. Woo! We're here to say that we want climate justice. Megan, ever since I met you, you've loved doing chants. Would you lead a chant for us?
Of course I will. Okay, so the chant we're going to do is, what do we want? And you answer, climate justice. Ready? What do we want?
Climate justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Climate justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
If we don't get it,
Shut it down!
if we don't get it,
Shut it down!
woo!
Okay, so today we're going to have 3 speakers and 3 performers, and then we'll be marching in front of Yonge and Dundas to tell the big corporations that they also have a role to play, and then we'll be marching to City Hall because there's a municipal election coming soon, and that's also really important for climate action. Before that, I think you want to plug in our socials?
Yeah, of course I do. Okay, so we're just getting started today. There's still time to invite all of your friends. I have the social media, maybe small for everybody, but our Instagram is at Fridays for Future TO.
This is fire. This represents the life and the spirit within every living thing. Within you, within me, within the standing people, the trees, and all the growing things and the animals. Sage is one of the sacred medicines. It represents, can you hear me? Okay, now can you hear me? Okay. Sage represents caring and sharing, and that's what we are here today to do. We are sharing our knowledge, our concerns, and what we want to see happen. And that is why we're here. And we are also caring because we are here. I'm going to salute the 4 directions. And also try not to fall off the stage. Okay. When I was younger, perhaps than some of you even here today, I remember we had a situation in Toronto in the Indigenous community. We were applying for community grants, and we weren't ever getting any. They kept saying, no, not you. And we turned that around, because what we did was we went to one of the meetings to the people that were going to be elected as councillors. And one of them was a Mr. Vaughn, who some of you will remember. Anyway, we asked them a question. Do you think Indians are a federal responsibility? I mean, why are we not getting grants like other community groups? And so suddenly, because we took that action and we showed up with a cam recorder, and those things were like monstrously big back in the day, not like these things we have now. And one big guy was carrying it. And we shone it on, we took pictures of everybody that answered our questions. And the next thing we got those grants. And I'm telling you, we live in a democracy. So, you value that. Whoever gets elected, wherever you are, that person represents you. You can go and visit them and ask them and bring to their attention what it is you are concerned about. And that's what we need to do, because if we do, we inspire and support those people who represent us to do the right thing. Okay? It is said that the youth are our future. And I can tell you from here, this vantage point, the youth and the future look pretty good. There is a thing about it, never give up. The Dalai Lama says that about peace. I think we should always carry that inside us, never give up. We get discouraged maybe, but we never give up. I feel the spirit here. You are strong in your spirit. Keep it that way. Protect yourselves, look after yourselves and one another. Che Miigwech for your being here. Che Miigwech. That means a great big thank you. And I ask the Creator for healing and protection for all those we love. I ask the Creator for healing and protection for all those we do not love. And I ask the Creator for healing and protection for all those we do not know right around the world. And that covers us all, living beings, and our water, and the wind, the air, and the earth, all the living beings. And to you, I say Che Miigwech, and to the Creator, I say Che Miigwech. Miigwech, 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 Mikanagana.
Thank you so much, Catherine. It's so important for us to have Catherine. Catherine has been to some of our other rallies. This is good now? Okay. Can folks at the back hear me? We've been hearing, yeah? Okay, this is good. So, I started when I got a little angry earlier, telling you why we were here. We're striking today for climate justice, of course. But I'd like to tell you more about what the actual demands are, so you understand what we're asking. Now, these demands are for the federal government, for the Ontario government, for the municipal government, but also all the people that have decision-making powers in companies, in institutions, in organizations. Because we can't just wait for the other to do it. Our demands are to reduce Canada's greenhouse gas emissions by 60% by 2030 compared to 25. This is not happening. Companies and governments have been really good at saying they're doing a lot, but our emissions are still going up. We're demanding that all those with decision-making powers respect Indigenous sovereignty, Indigenous title, and Indigenous rights over their lands and territories. We demand that we get out of fossil fuels. Starting today, there must be no new fossil fuel projects across this country. We must invest in clean, abundant, clean energy. We need to guarantee a just transition for all, so that the workers and the communities that are going to be impacted by the transition are supported and have a place in the green economy we're building. We demand that we prioritize equity in all the climate solutions we go for. And we demand that governments invest in public health and in public services, because we know that for the part of the climate crisis that we cannot avoid, it will be a public health crisis, and it will be the most vulnerable who will be most affected. Layla? Megan, I think you'd like to introduce Layla.
Yes, and here to demand that with us is Layla St. She is closer.
Yeah.
She is Mohawk, Turtle Clan from Six Nations. Layla is an Indigenous filmmaker, speaker, and activist. And I would love to welcome her with a chant. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna say when Mother Earth is under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back!
And that's your response, stand up, fight back. When Mother Earth is under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back!
When the trees are under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back!
When the water is under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back!
When our future is under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do?
Stand up, fight back!
Sego, Skanagoago, Layla St. Young Yachts, Anawara ni Wagita Roden, Kanyak Gehaga, ni Wago and Jordan, Oswego ni Wageno. Hello, my name is Layla St. I am Mohawk Turtle Clan from the Six Nations of the Grand River, and I introduce myself to you in my native language, Kanyak Gehaga, Mohawk. That language was not gifted to me from my ancestors, from my grandparents like it was intended. That language was taken from me, from the systems you see behind me that are still stealing from my people. As a generational survivor of residential schools, I have had to reclaim my teachings of my ancestors, reclaim the language that I was gifted, and reclaim the knowledge and the wisdom and my culture and my way of life. On this path, I have learned a deeper connection to the water. We have spent the last 3 years acknowledging whose land this is. Every event now begins with a land acknowledgement. I challenge each and every one of you. You're all part of organizations, unions, companies, businesses. You're all part of something. Take personal responsibility to stop just acknowledging the land. We need land action. Land action. What does land back mean? Well, the literal sense of giving the land back. But also, for each and every single one of us, we need to embody land back. We need to take the land back for us and our relationship to the land. My ancestors saw the land as our relative. The trees all around here are my brothers and sisters. The water is my relative. The birds, the bees, the fruits. We are all related. So when you see your mother being torn open, her insides being ripped from her, you see your brother being poisoned and attacked, you see your family being killed and murdered, what do?
Stand up, fight back!
Exactly. And when we start to see the world around us as not just nature, we don't just go out into nature. We are nature. We are a part of it. Now, I was recently arrested in Wet'suwet'en. Standing up. Shame. Shame. Standing up in defense of the Wenzikwa River. Right now, the drills are set to drill under this river. Shame. Stop the drills. Stop the pipelines. I want to sing a song with you. This is actually one of my kids' favorite songs to you, and you may know it if you've been out to any of the front lines. You guys want to sing "Stop the Pipeline"? Okay. Stop the pipeline. Stop the oil tankers. We don't want them here, 'cause they pollute, 'cause they kill all the life on the earth. Save the skies for eagles, save the forest for bears, save the water for salmon. Let us all live in peace. Thank you, Finch. So as I stood at that river in the Wenzikwa, I took a drink. I put my hands in this river and I put it to my lips, right from this river. And I could feel it was alive. It was electric. It tingled on my tongue. And I knew in that moment, this is how water was meant to be. My river at home, the Grand River, I won't let my children swim in it. I would definitely never let them drink from it. Most of us will never drink from a river. Shame. So in that moment, I knew that this was something we had to defend. We couldn't just forget about it. We couldn't ignore it. This river was sacred. These waters were sacred. Our ancestors believed that water has memory. Water is alive. It hears us and it feels us. And science, for all of my fellow nerds out there, science has proven that water receives the words, the energy, its chemical composition changes as we pour positive energy into it. It hears us. It feels us. It is alive. So as I stood with the Wet'suwet'en people, I had to ask myself, whose laws do I live by? And for me, it was the law of the land. Protecting the land and the water for my daughters, for my son, for the future generations. I came from the sacred waters of my mother. They came from my waters. Water is passed down, it is within us, it is in our blood. And without it, we die. I've experienced in my own personal story colonial violence. As we stood on that bridge defending that river, hundreds of RCMP approached us in formation, waving a stick in the front, chanting, all together. And I knew in that moment that they were there to dominate. There was no peace talks. There was no consultation. There was no discussing it with the elders or the matriarchs that were standing with us. They were there for one reason: to dominate. Violently shame. And as I stood on that bridge, seeing them come towards us, I saw military Greens coming up the side with their sniper rifles, and I've never had a gun pointed on me in my life till that moment. And I knew in that moment, as the attack dogs were barking and the helicopters were flying over, I knew that I had to make a choice. Of course, I thought of my daughters, and I thought of my children at home. What would happen when their mother got arrested? What would happen when I became a criminal? And I wonder how they saw me. I wondered how they would see me. And I ask you, do you guys think your mom is a criminal? Do you?
No.
No. What is she?
A warrior.
And they tell their kids, they tell their teachers at school that my mom's out protecting the water. So that means something. We change what it looks like, what these courts, what these laws have put in place for us. I'm still going through court as a criminal at this very moment, knowing shame. Shame. That's right, dude. Shame. We stood on that bridge, and in the face of this colonial violence and this oppression, we were outnumbered, 8 of us on a bridge. And something inside of me, as I saw that domination, as I saw their force, said, Layla, sing. Sing. So I sang to a wall of police. I sang. So we're going to sing this song that we sang on that bridge. It's called the Mohawk Water Song. And I asked my daughters to sing it with me. Yunganalungwa oniga, yunganalungwa oniga, ganega yoro, ganega yoro, ganega ya heya. Yunganalungwa oniga, yunganalungwa oniga, ganega yoro, ganega yoro, ganega ya heya. Yona yona hey hoye, yona yona hey hoye, gane yona, gane yona, gane ya hey ya. Yunga lungwa oniga, yunga lungwa oniga, gane yona, gane yona, gane ya hey ya. And it's one of my biggest regrets in life on that bridge is stopping singing. Because the moment that I stopped singing is when they raided, is when they came in to arrest us. And I'll never forget one of the experiences I had as I was arrested and put in the back of this car, handcuffs, and looking up at this RCMP officer, he smiled and winked at me. Shame. And it was just a moment where I realized that I felt this oppression. I felt the dominance. I felt like I had no power. And even now as I fight these charges, it's hard to have faith in our systems. It's hard to have faith that it mattered, that active resistance, that active resilience, that active saying no, no pipelines, no. But for me, I don't trust our politicians or our governments to save the earth. It's not going to come from the top. It's going to come from the ground up. And so these moments of resistance, these moments of fighting back, of using our voices, of unifying together, they matter. They matter to us. They matter to the people. And the people are the ones that are going to save this planet. Who is with me? What do we do? What do we do when our land is under attack? What do we do when the water is being poisoned? What do we do when our trees are being cut down? What do we do when our future is under attack? People ask me all the time, how do you do what you do? How do you keep doing it? Because those are my brothers. Those are my sisters. This is my mother. And I will stand up and fight back, and I will not stop. Nyawagoa, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And the last thing I will leave you with today, because I'm not really an angry person, is I'll teach you a Mohawk word. Now, this word is very important to me and my family. I met a survivor at the residential school. His name was Geronimo Henry. Check him on YouTube. He's got some videos. He went to the school for 11 years. He got there when he was 5 and he left when he was 16. And of all the traumas that he endured in that time, he said, Layla, the one thing that impacted me the most is I never heard the words, I love you. Imagine that as a child, never hearing, I love you. And what kind of rippling effects that causes when you become a parent, when you are raising the next generation. So I've made it my personal obligation to break those cycles. I tell my children I love you, but I want to teach you how we say it in Mohawk. You want to teach them, B, how to say I love you? Ready? Okay. Gonalongqua. Gonalongqua. Okay, kind of good. We'll try that one again. All right, don't worry about saying it right. Say it from your heart. Don't worry about making a mistake. Don't worry about messing it up. Just feel it. I love you. And it's that love that is going to connect us all. That is that love that is going to flow from the roots of our feet into the earth. It is that love that is going to stand up and protect the water. It is our love, not our hate, not our anger, not our rage. It is the love that is going to connect us. So, Gonalongqua. 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 Nyawagoa. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Layla.
Woo!
Layla, I hope we can keep your energy and all the wonderful teachings that you brought to us as we march, as we continue to demand for climate justice. It's necessary that as climate activists, as young people who are demanding that our future be safe, we also fight so that Indigenous peoples get sovereignty over their lands. And these two fights are one and the same. They have to be tied together. We cannot just choose to only be climate activists and not fight for Indigenous control over the territory. Okay, let's do a little chant.
It's a good idea.
Thanks, Megan.
Of course.
We'll do one where we'll say, Wall Street, Bay Street, listen, listen up. The planet is dying, start to give up. It's a kid-friendly event. Wall Street, Bay Street, listen, listen up. The planet is dying, start to give up. Wall Street, Bay Street, listen, listen up. The planet is dying, start to give up. Wall Street, Bay Street, listen, listen up. The planet is dying, start to give up. Wall Street, Bay Street, listen, listen up. The planet is dying, start to give up. Okay, You did not love that one, I saw that. Okay. Let's do an easier one. We'll do hey, hey, ho, ho, fossil fuels have got to go, okay?
Okay.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, fossil fuels have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, fossil fuels have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, fossil fuels have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, fossil fuels have got to go.
I am greatly honored to introduce Janky David to the stage. Janky first started speaking up about climate justice after participating in the 2019 global climate strike here in Toronto. She was inspired by the student-led action that made the world take a notice. As a labor activist, Janky advocates for a just transition, which is rooted in the fight for climate justice.
Welcome, Jinky.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. Friday for Future's peeps, community allies, family, friends, my labor comrades, thank you for coming here today. I'm in front of you as an individual who is terrified about the climate crisis. As a labor activist that continues and will always continue to fight for climate justice. As a mom of two young kids, as a mom of two young kids, and I'm worried about their future because I don't know what will be left because of climate justice. Because of climate change. We all know that the climate crisis is real. Climate change is the largest threat to our current and future generations. It is happening right before us. It is happening because of human activities of burning fossil fuels and deforestation. Through our lived experiences, we see the effects and we know how it is being felt worldwide. We've seen extreme weather events, flooding, forest fires, leading to widespread damage and even loss of life. It's affecting our animals, our plants, and our people. And unless further actions is taken, more severe impacts will follow. Climate disaster is rapidly increasing and is hurting working peoples. Unions have taken a simple stance. There are no jobs on a dead planet. This is true, no jobs on a dead planet. Unions have a vital role to protect jobs in the current industry, but we also have a role in fighting to create new jobs. We support new quality jobs in this emerging green economy. We know that there are jobs, and we know that there's an opportunity to create million good unionized jobs across Canada for young people, for Indigenous people, and for equity-seeking groups. Investment in infrastructure means jobs. And as we green, and we will green every industry, there will be more jobs in construction, manufacturing, and in public service. Sorry, I'm not one to, I don't know why, I'm not one to talk. So this is very nerve-wracking watching you guys all look at me. But honestly, this is what I saw in 2019. And it was so inspiring. My little girl was so much younger, and she, whatever she'll tell you is that there is no planet B. And knowing that you guys have thrived and you continue to grow your movement is so friggin' inspiring. It is just amazing. So just as a mom, as a teacher, as a Nina, as a friend to you all, as a friend of the environment, I want governments to agree on tangible climate action and to give future generations a fighting chance. We need to demand climate legislation, policies, and practices at all three levels of government. Demand that the federal government enact effective, meaningful, just transition legislation. Demand that our provincial government get a real clue about this climate crisis. And demand that municipal governments implement climate justice plans. Next week, there will be a webinar And this is a shameless plug, but it's an important plug. There are flyers being passed around. Councillor Mike Layton and Chloe T will be guest speakers. I encourage you guys all to take a flyer. They're being circulated in the audience and register. It's important that we take action. This is an election issue, and we can make change in October when we vote for a new council and we vote for a new school board. There are some that argue that it's either the economy and jobs or the environment. And I want to be clear, that is simply not true. We can do both and we can have both. It is crucial that we combine economic development and growth with environmental improvements. Let us be clear to everyone who will listen that we can and we must have both. That is what a just green transition is all about. That is what a recovery is all about. For the kids, for our kids, for our youth, for our students, and for the future of everyone, it is essential that we achieve more sustainable society, which is achieved through just transition where no one is left behind. For our climate, our society, and our economy, we must have a job-rich transition for young, future Canadians that is fair, democratic, and worker-focused. This ensures that no one is left behind. Stand up with me, stand up with the labor movement, and demand a just transition. Climate change, as I said, is the greatest challenge of our time. It is affecting our livelihoods and the health and safety of our workers. We are in a climate emergency, and addressing this emergency is urgent union work. Here in Toronto and York, the Toronto-York Region Labour Council continues to push for climate justice. We have asked all our delegates to reconfirm their commitment to the climate emergency. Workers have been working hard to influence policies and workplaces. They have demanded more workplace actions, and they've negotiated real representation in workplace decisions on climate action. For Labour, when we act in solidarity, we know we always win. Workers have achieved historical success. Years ago, you guys caught the attention, you caught my attention, by mobilizing so many and calling them to action. Your movement, your community continues to grow. Look around you guys today. Look at each other. Feel and see your collective strength. Climate justice matters. We need change today and for future generations. Without urgent and ambitious actions, we will face changes to our climate. We must choose a pathway to a zero carbon future. For everyone here today, thank you. Thank you for speaking up. Thank you for standing up. Thank you for taking action in this climate strike. We are moving in the right direction. This future generation in front of me has the tenacity to see this through and will lead us, will show us how to act and be better. Labour will always stand in solidarity with you today and always. Let's have a great march and have a great afternoon. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, I see a lot of people, but I really cannot hear you. Okay, so we're gonna try this. Who here is from Labour? Let me hear you. Woo!
Who here is attending their first climate strike ever?
Woo! Who here is a student striking from school? Woo! I see you.
Who here is from the healthcare sector?
Woo! Who here is a concerned parent?
All right, thanks a lot. And thank you, Jinky. Thank you for standing in solidarity with young people. We know we stand in solidarity with the workers that are asking a just transition to a green economy.
Woo!
We're here to say that we need to raise the wages, not sea levels.
Woo!
carbon, and keep the jobs. And I love the shirts over there that I saw that said, climate justice is union business. Absolutely it is.
Absolutely. Okay, this is a personal favorite chant of mine. It's a repeat after me, so there's no excuses. I want to hear everybody. Okay? I don't know what you've been told.
I don't know what you've been told.
Fossil fuels have got to go.
Fossil fuels have got to go.
We protest as you can see.
We protest as you can see.
'Cause we ain't got no planet B.
We ain't got no planet B.
One more time. I don't know what you've been told.
I don't know what you've been told.
The fossil fuels have got to go.
Fossil fuels have got to go.
We protest as you can see.
We protest as you can see.
'Cause we ain't got no planet B.
We ain't got no planet B.
Woo! Okay, as a high school student, to all of the high school students, whoa, I said students twice. As a high school student, to all of the youth in the crowd, I wanted to read the statement that a few seniors put together to all of us. It was an organization of about 7 organizations and 750 seniors. Woo! To our youth on September 23rd, we want you to know that the generations who have preceded you, the generations of your grandparents and your great-grandparents, support you. Over the last 6 to 10 decades, we have seen the deterioration, that's a hard word, in the pollution of air and water. We have seen the response of nature in the form of dramatic increase in number and intensity of storms. In our time, we witnessed the emergence of environmental movement and the warnings forecasting climate destruction. And we have seen the failure to act of those who have the power to do so. Shame! Like you, we are very concerned and indeed very frightened about the future of life on planet. Your generation is not alone. The generation of your grandparents and great-grandparents are also organizing. Our numbers are growing, and we will support you, and we will join you to change the world. And I also want to take this moment to thank all of the organizers that put this together and all of the contingents and everyone here that has come together to demand one thing, that we put people over profit.
Okay, now we know that we've been talking a lot, you've heard a lot of wise things, but now we want to get some energy up. And I could not think of a better person to do that than Mark Clennon.
Yeah!
Mark is a Jamaican LGBTQ+ activist whose latest video was for the first time in Jamaica, the video that showed on-screen romance between 2 men. Mark has used his entire career and his entire platform as a musician, as an artist, to highlight various social issues like racial injustice, like police brutality, and like climate justice. Mark, thank you so much for joining us.
So I do this thing where before every show we just do one big scream. Are we down with that? Okay. Now I want them to hear you on Bay Street, okay? So as loud as you can, we're gonna scream, get all of our energy out. Are we ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Okay, that was amazing. Thank you so much. So I'm so grateful to be here today. Thank you for having me. It's exciting to be a part of a movement like this with people who are so energized for such an important cause. You know, there are millions of people around the world and in Canada who have the same ideas that we have, but they're not here. You are. You guys have so much passion for what you believe in, and you're here to make action, to make it work, and to do what needs to be done. And give yourself a round of applause for that. Amazing. All right, So I'm going to be singing 2 songs for you today. The first song is called Not Perfect. The reason I chose that song is because I feel like, you know, as people, we try the best we can do. You know, we try to be our best, but we're not always perfect. You know, whether you're fighting for climate action, whether you're fighting for racial justice, whether you're fighting for, you know, gender parity, whatever we're fighting for, try your best, fight as hard as you can. But at the end of the day, we're not perfect, and we're here to come together as a group and unite under what binds us. Are we together on that? Yeah! All right. One more scream. 1, 2, 3. Amazing. Thank you so much, guys. Scream! Woo! Thank you so much, guys. So the next song I'm going to sing, it's called Kingston. It's my newest song. And I'm just so happy to be here with you guys. And here goes. Scream! How you guys feeling? Cold? Someone's like cold. Dope. Okay, love it. No one's cold, eh? Okay. Really? Okay.
Dangerous. So it's dangerous for a time. I'm in no trust. on our own for believing. When the sun goes down and I can't stand tall, I mean I look for you and not the dark. I your contact with my heart. When the sun goes down and I can't stand tall, I mean I look for you and not the dark. I your contact with my heart. One look alone can change your life. Oh man, oh man, don't let me down, I can't stop tonight.
I want to see you dance, guys.
Serious. And this is not the place we used to know. But you know, so I'm curious of how far this young thing can go. Oh. When the sun goes down and the keys stand tall, I mean I look for you in the dark. You can take on my heart. When the sun goes down and the keys stand tall, y'all come check on my heart. Woo! Scream! One man over, take me away. Oh man, don't let me down, it keeps on tonight.
Thank you so much, everyone. I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was absolutely beautiful. I really enjoyed that dance break. I hope everyone else is feeling the energy. Okay, good to know. I want to take this opportunity to invite all of the youth here to join our organizing team. We're always looking for members to help us organize actions like these, help with social media, anything. You can find our form on our website, fridaysforfutureto.org. You can also find everything else on our website, such as links to donate, that helps us put on actions such as these.
Where do they find the website? On the posters?
Online.
On the QR code?
Online, and also if you see a climate strike poster, there is a QR code that you can scan. I also have it written up here. It's not enough for everybody, but for those who can see, there is a poster that has our website.
Thanks, Megan. I want to bring us back to something that's a little more serious because, you know, we've been here, we've been chanting, we've been dancing, and that's good. There's a lot of joy in fighting for justice. But when we talk about the climate crisis, we often talk about it as if it's a future problem. We're always saying, you know, for our kids and the kids of our kids. But because of inaction over decades, there are people that have become the victims of climate disruption right now. And the most recent example of that are the people of Pakistan, where 33 million people have been displaced because of floods, because of the climate crisis. We often talk at Fridays for Future about global solidarity, and when you hear about what's happening in Pakistan, you understand why that's a crucial part of our demands. Historically, Pakistan has emitted less than 1% of our emissions, and yet it's the people in Pakistan right now that are bearing the brunt of the crisis. So when we're striking here in Canada, we're not just striking to keep ourselves safe. We're striking because we have the responsibility for our peers that are in Global South. We have the responsibility to make sure that we hold our governments accountable. We know that most of the companies, the mining companies abroad that do most environmental racism are Canadian companies. Canada loves to have this beautiful image abroad, but we know that we're responsible for a huge chunk of global emissions, for a huge amount of harm. And when we're here, we're striking in solidarity with those folks over there that are feeling the effects right now. I hope that's the energy you feel where we're going to be marching. I hope that's the amount of anger you'll be feeling. We'll be chanting. I'd like to welcome to the stage Hassan Shabir. He's a singer and songwriter based in Toronto. He's from Pakistan, and he'll be singing for us.
There are more than 33 million people who are displaced in Pakistan, and I would like to dedicate this song to them. It was written by a poet from Pakistan. It's in Urdu, but it actually just means that what thing do you crave, O heart? All nature is your fellow creature. So, can you say that with me? Just the fellow creature. What thing do you crave, O heart? All nature is your? Thank you. तन्हाई ये शब में है नज़ीं क्या अंजुम नहीं तेरे हम नशी क्या तन्हाई ये शब में है नज़ीं क्या अंजुम तेरे हम नशी क्या ये रिफ़त आसमान खामोश पाबीदा ज़मीन जहान खामोश ये चाँद ये दश्त दर ये कोसा फितरत है तमाम नस्तरंजा मोती खुश रंग प्यारे प्यारे यानी तेरे आंसुओं के तारे तुझे हवस है ऐ दिल कुदरत तेरी हम नफस है ऐ दिल All nature is your fellow creature. Thank you so much.
Hassan and I were talking about what's happening in Pakistan, and he was telling me that his brother is working with an organization that's providing humanitarian relief. And so we were lucky that we have a lot of people that donate for this strike, and we're going to donate at least $400 to the organization that Hassan's brother has recommended to us. And we'll be asking you if you can afford it to contribute to that same organization. We'll put it up on social media and pull it up on our website, and we'd encourage you to also extend that, if you can, extend that generosity to really embody when we say global solidarity, you really mean it, and put your dollars behind that. Okay, we'll do a solidarity chant. Are there any francophones here? 3? Okay. Okay, so this chant is bilingual, so you can do it in English or you can do it in French. We're just gonna go solidarité, or in English, solidarity. Alrighty? Solidarité! 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 Thank you. I mentioned earlier feeling anger at the injustices that we're seeing. This anger that we're feeling, we need to put it towards actions like these. I know that, honestly, it might be an ugly feeling, but what motivates me most to do these kind of strikes are anger at the injustices, anger at the fact that politicians every day go to work and decide not to prioritize people over profit. Shame! And this is something that you're feeling too, and you don't really know what to do with. We'd like to try something new here, where we'd like to kind of have a group of people that just want to receive texts when there's actions about climate justice in Toronto. We're not going to be sending you newsletters. We have a newsletter. We're not going to be sending you long articles or links. We would only text you when there's a next action, whether it's ours or someone else's that's doing climate justice related actions. So if that's something that you're interested in, I don't know how this is going to work. We invested in a bot. So you're going to text a number with your first name and last name, and that's going to give us your number so we can text you next time there's an action. Woo! We tried it. It worked.
It worked,
Let's try it with a couple hundred people now. So can I give you the number? You're going to have to text it with your first name and last name. If you just want to give us your first name, that is totally fine. Just need your nickname, really. Just need you to text us something. So are you ready with the number? Yes? Woo! Let me not mess this up. When we first tried, I texted the wrong number.
True.
Yeah.
And she organized it and she texted the wrong number.
So 365 5985 972. Let's do that again. So you would text your first name or first name and last name to 365 5985 972. Now if you text it now, because our bot is a little slow, it's a cheap bot, it might answer you in about 10 minutes with thank you, and our organizers will be in touch. If you don't get that, you made a mistake. Or I made a mistake. Okay.
Hey.
Megan, in the meantime, do you want to do a chant?
I would love to. Okay, this is one of my personal favorites, and also I have my younger sister. Whoa, that's kind of expensive. Sorry, Mom. I want to lead the chant with my younger sister, who is down here. We say, you can't drink oil, keep it in the soil. You can't drink oil, keep it in the soil. You can't drink oil, keep it in the soil. You can't drink oil, keep it in the soil. You can't drink oil, keep it in the soil. Woo!
Okay. I'm extremely honored to invite our next speaker and our last speaker today. Many of you have met Vanessa in a way at a climate justice related protest, at an Indigenous rights protest. Vanessa is a queer Anishinaabe Kwe from Amtanan First Nation. Vanessa is a water protector, an environmental researcher, and a community organizer in the Great Lakes region. Vanessa is a well-respected land defender and defender of Indigenous peoples' inherent and legal rights and sovereignty. Woo! Sorry, I want to give you a full bio because it's a very impressive one. You might know Vanessa because she's co-hosting the Toxic Tours, because she's led direct action in solidarity with the people of Wet'suwet'en, or because Vanessa is an exceptional researcher about environmental justice and pollution in Ontario's Chemical Valley. Vanessa, thanks so much for joining us.
Vanessa Gray, Indigenous Cause. I'm Janam Donjaba, Vishna Beni Dao, Nakwanin Dodam. Hi everyone. I just want to say thank you to everyone who came out today, for all the creative people who made all these beautiful signs, and everyone who has been worrying about their climate futures and feeling alone and feeling worried about the futures for all future generations. Thank you for showing up for us when we ask you to. Thank you for being here now. Thank you. I'm going to read a message from our friends at Get 'em Done. Is it possible to turn my mic up? In order to stop climate change, we must stop Canada's continued exploitation of fossil fuels and continued exploitation of Indigenous rights. Next week, on September 30th, is supposed to be the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation. Yet, at this very moment, oil and gas projects and pipelines are operating and being built on unceded Indigenous land in our name. In northern British Columbia, a massive fossil fuel project, the Coastal GasLink pipeline, is being built on Wet'suwet'en land without the consent of Wet'suwet'en hereditary chiefs. And for the past 6 months, a special unit of the RCMP has been continuously in a discriminatory way stopping and arresting Wet'suwet'en people whose only interest is to protect their land title that is recognized by a 1997 ruling by the Supreme Court of Canada. Go to their website, yintaaccess.com. That's YINTAH access.com. Follow their social media accounts. Call your member of parliament, tell them to stop the RCMP's road stops and arrests of Wet'suwet'en people. Get your phones out now and go to yintaaccess.com. Please share and amplify Get 'em Done's posts and messages in the next couple of weeks. Do it now. Take action and rise up to the call to kill the drill on September 30th and plan for actions where you are. That was a message from our friends, our Wet'suwet'en friends, our people who are on the front line, who have been arrested and brutalized for being who they are on their own land. Our solidarity and kinship lights a fire in all the nations that share a stronger connection with the Yintah. On September 30th, Canada will acknowledge the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation. While the RCMP, Surge, and Coastal GasLink's private security continue to surveil, harass, and brutalize unarmed land defenders. This ongoing colonial violence perpetrates the genocidal role residential schools played when Indigenous people were moved from the land in the interest of resource extraction and the expansion of fossil fuel industry. I just want to say thank you for your support. This is a very hard topic to talk about, but I'm so happy you're all here, and I feel the support. I'm almost done. As an Anishinaabe from a community surrounded by Canada's petrochemical industries, who has been threatened by the police many times, I can say that nothing can or will stop us from defending the land and water
for our future generations. The time is now. This is your moment. This is our moment. I'm here with you, and I feel that you're here with me. We won't stop. Thank you.
I would like to reintroduce Catherine to the stage.
Catherine is going to be closing for us, and then we'll be marching. So you can start packing up your stuff. We'll be hearing from Catherine to close, to send us off in a good way, and then we'll be preparing to march, yeah?
This was awesome, wasn't it? Okay, when we begin with an opening in a sacred way, we have to also do a closing. And we don't have a sacred fire here, but I was given tobacco in a good way to come here and do this opening and ask, that we be brought together in a good way, in a good mind. And we have been. And we've had a wonderful day to do this. And now, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do with this tobacco. I'm going to ask you to think for a moment, all of your good intentions. And we're going to let that go into the tobacco. Ready? Now think. And this is from the heart, people. Okay. That tobacco will be put in a sacred fire tonight, and all those good intentions, all your love and your dreams and your vision, that'll go into the fire, and that will go to the Creator. And Migazé will take it there. There's one thing I want to leave you with. This is the buffalo. There used to be millions and millions of them. They roamed from the far north down into the southern states. And people lived with them. And then they were virtually destroyed. Yeah. Yeah. And then they came for the codfish. And then they came, now they're looking at the salmon. And we're protecting the salmon too. Because one of the Cree leaders said, when you eat the last fish, and you cut down the last tree, and you poison the last water, you will realize that you cannot eat money. All over the place, all over North America, there are people who are bringing back the buffalo. Lots of indigenous people are doing this, and even goodness knows the parks are trying to do it too. So this is really hopeful. We can recover from anything. And we always should be thinking and saying, Shemagwech, Mishomas and Kokmas Buffalo, because they give everything to us. All the other beings in the world. We two-legged, we human beings, were the last one created. And everything else had a council and said, the plant people, the standing people, the trees, and all the swimmers, all the walkers, the crawlers, and all those ones who fly, they said they would give to us so that we, two-leggeds, could live. And there are only two things we're expected to do. One was to express gratitude, to love. The second is to look after everything the best way we know how. And I'm going to ask you, take in the spirit of the buffalo, become buffalo people, and also feed the people in all the way the people need to be fed, emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. So you be that buffalo spirit in this world. Take it into your hearts. Miigwech, 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 miigwech.
officially over. You can leave or stay and just leave. My name is Sakina on the stage. I didn't ask before. Officially over. You can leave or stay and just
Fossil fuels out the door! For you? Fossil fuels out the door!
being a part of the solution. What I like to hear.
Thank you all for coming today! Solidarity!
We have Brazilian artists and activists and Indigenous leaders with us here in Toronto who are joining us for all kinds of creative convergence, and also today for this protest, and they're here to explain what this banner is.
So, first we have the Podali. Podali is a ritual in Baniwa culture, which is an exchange ritual. So people bring gifts and exchange their gifts for each other. And also their community now is very affected by the government policies against their land. So nowadays, Baniwa community, the Itacoatiara Mirim community in Brazil, is having a lot of problems with the presence of a thermoelectric very close to their land, their community. Also, they have a military base close to their land and an airport. All of them were installed in that place with no permission of them. They never asked to. So this message here in Baniwa language is saying the earth and the forest ask for silence. We need silence because after
deceased people in the microphone, real ones. Help this thing up, you know. I just screamed. I have to study for midnight.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that little bell notification. And don't forget to check us out on all our social medias. And if you want to see more, check our website.